Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Now, if you haven't seen my video from just a few hours ago that was posted, I was able to share the great news that thanks to all of you incredible subscribers out there, I have breached and gone over the resistance level of 5,000 subscribers. So I want to thank again, if you haven't watched my previous video or don't get to watch it, I want to make sure that I thank every single one of you out there for your incredible support from when we started this channel back in late May of this year to today. Every single one of you, just incredible. All your likes, all your kind words and encouragement that you leave below in the description, even all the questions that each and every one of you ask that I do get back to as soon as I am able to, and all the sharing of the videos with your friends, all the encouragement in the Discord. And of course, if you're not part of the Discord, you can join me in the Discord. You can get signed up. There's a link below in the description there. And I'm also in the crypto channel there, and I have my own Crown Traders channel there. Would love to see you in there. And of course, the cheat sheet, which is below in the link in the description as well, which is my crypto roadmap to success. I also have stocks on there, and we have the stock show coming up on Sunday tomorrow, and we're going to have a look at how our trades panned out. I have a new daily trades stock section as well as a new daily trades crypto section that I've just launched in the last week to help people navigate this bull run and get some great entries and some great take profit levels. So thank you again to all of those 5,000. And now we need to turn 5,000 from its resistance. Now we're going to flip it to support. And next stop is 10,000. And I hope to see you all there on this journey with lots of new people that are going to join this most wonderful community along the way. And as I said this morning, for me, it's never, ever been about the numbers. I started this channel with no promise of what kind of people would be joining or what kind of number. What was most important to me about the number of people that I'm helping, the number of people who can get financially free, the number of people that can learn and grow and get better and create some life-changing gains. What matters to me is you guys, every single one of you has a name. You're not a number to me, and you're important to me, and that's why I do this show, 2 of these shows every day, and the stock show on Sunday. I appreciate your support. Okay, so we are going to look at today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to have a look at what's been going on in the news. And the title of this video was 6 cents to 90,000. Can you believe it? That somebody who bought Bitcoin at 6 cents has just moved the Bitcoin, I believe, to an exchange. Are they going to sell? But they've held it from 6 cents to 90,000. Absolutely incredible there. And does that mean that there is going to be a little of a pullback? If there is, where could we possibly go to? We're going to look at all of those right in this moment. And as you can see here, someone just moved 2,000 Bitcoin with $179 million. They held from 6 cents to 90,000. Absolute legend there. And so let's see if that plays out. But also it's very interesting. Bitcoin is reaching extreme greed. Usually this is a topping signal, so trade with caution. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't stay in extreme greed for a little bit longer. We could come up to 96, even get to 100,000 and stay in extreme greed before there would be a pullback. So this is not necessarily a sell now signal, but I put 89,000 as a take profit level. And if we were to, and we've stayed above that level, and we'll look at that in the charts, that we could definitely not a bad place to take profit, but also you could wait and see how the chart plays out and set a stop loss just in case we break below 89. 88, 89 retest as resistance and then come further down, that would be a good place to take profit as well. If you're awake, that's why setting stop losses there as well is important to help you while you're sleeping. Okay, we all got to sleep at some time, unless you got a partner you can tag team with there. With that, but new Bitcoin miners send 45,000 Bitcoin to exchanges. So this also could be something that they usually will send it to exchange to sell. It doesn't mean they're going to sell now or right away, but they want to take profit. They want to be profitable. They've got to pay the bills. And so this is something that we should keep an eye on there as well. And then, but then there is some positive news, because breaking, Senator Loomis, the Bitcoin Act of 2024 was introduced into the US Congress for vote. A purchase not more than 200,000 Bitcoins per year over a 5-year period for a total acquisition of 1 million Bitcoins. Look, I don't even know if there'll be that level of Bitcoin to buy in 5 years. They might get to 200,000 Bitcoin this year, and that might be it. There might not be any left to buy there. Who knows? We'll certainly keep an eye on that. And I think that's very bullish, because if the US government starts to buy it, other nation states, I think, will follow. And then we've got companies that might start to buy Bitcoin when the fair accounting law comes into place, where Bitcoin can be fairly accounted for on the balance sheet. Right now, it's unfairly accounted for, and it hasn't been as attractive to have it on the balance sheet. Although, ask MicroStrategy, and I think they'll tell you that it's been very attractive for them. They took that risk, and it paid off big time for them. All right, well, let's look at the Bitcoin charts here. And as you see, what we have here is we have support. This is resistance. This is a Fibonacci there at 87,800, around 87,900. And it's retested that and held. So this would have been a place that, yes, profits could have been taken. Like if I was sleeping and I woke up and I took profit at 89, that's fair enough, because I don't want to go to sleep and it pops up and then comes crashing back down again. I miss my opportunity there. Okay, don't let greed steal your profits. Okay, nobody ever lost money taking profits. But if you're awake and you're able to stay up and you can watch this retest and say, I can stay in, then you wait for the next level here and to see how it responds at this level. Is it going to break through this level, retest as support? Then you could look to stay in the trade and say, hey, maybe I can take a little bit of profits off the table at around this 103, 104,000 rinse repeat. But if we find that we come back down to here and if we keep retesting this, generally, like after we had 1, 2, 3, 4, sometime around the 6th, 7th, sometime around the 7th, 8th time, I've generally found historically it'll get breached and will break to the downside. There's this fair value gap here between about 85,000 and change down to about, what do we have that? Down to about this 81,000 level here. And then we have the Fibonacci here at 83,000 as well. We do have CME gaps lower, and I have covered those in previous episodes. Just remember also the November high has historically come in between the 19th of November, the 26th of November, and the 30th of November. Those are the 3 times that we've had the November high. So the average there probably is going to be around the last week of November. Generally, the November high has come in. So if that was to repeat, and we have seen this repeat, I've been giving these stats like every month, and every time they've happened exactly. Even the stat that I gave about the November low, I shared that it was in, usually on the 2nd and 3rd, but I said to everybody, I bet you it's going to be on November the 4th, because the November 2nd and 3rd dates had historically been a weekday, and November 2nd, 3rd this halving year was going to be the weekend, and I didn't see that happening. And so I predicted the November low would be on Monday, November the 4th. And for those of you who got in and bought and listened to that, you're up massively. If you look at what all the coins were on November 4th when I called that you would have made some life-changing gains already. Okay, so we're looking at this last week of November, and historically then there has been a little bit of a sideways movement. Bitcoin, I think, dropped from about, I think we looked at this on a previous show, around 19, maybe down to 16,000. And then by the end of the month, by the end of December, it was back up again, and we're off to the races. And if you haven't seen my altcoin show, we talk about when altcoin season could start and has it already started, when it can finish, and what are some coins that you can buy. Check out my previous video from this morning. Okay, so those are levels to the upside here. And if you're looking, I want to buy Bitcoin, where you could get in? You could get in on a retest here. If it pulls down, it retests successfully, you can get in, but you also want to get out the same level. If it breaks down, retest and rejects to the upside as well. I'm not really advocating buying at these high levels because we're on a bit of a parabolic run. I mean, if you look at the weekly chart, I mean, this is just a massive green candles, and we just don't buy green candles on the show. But if Bitcoin does go to 170,000, buying it at 90 odd thousand is going to look like a pretty good investment if you come close to doubling your money there with Bitcoin. So the levels there to the downside, 87, 83,000, obviously down here at 79,000 as well. And there's some fair value gaps and some CME gaps down there that usually get filled, but they don't always get filled right away. They could get filled much later. They could get filled much sooner. But just to be aware of them, I think helps, because if we do start to see a drop, then we can take advantage and know where we can find some support there to make some purchases. So, of course, I'm not advocating. Are you saying, should I buy here at 87,000? Absolutely not. But if you wanted to buy Bitcoin and you didn't want to wait for when there will be, because look, we could come up to all the way up to 104, and then we could have a huge pullback, and that huge pullback could bring us down to here at 87. That would be a significant drop of about $18,000 there. Is that right? Yeah, about $18,000. That would be a significant correction, a significant drop, and it's just back to where we are right now. I think the market would probably be in extreme fear rather than extreme greed. Isn't it funny that right now we're in extreme greed, but if we went all the way up to here and then we had a massive drop, by the time it got to here, we'd probably be in extreme fear, and everybody's saying it's a good time to buy, we're in extreme fear. And you're like, well, that was a good that was here, we're in extreme greed. Why wasn't it a good time to buy? And so this is what we need to understand about the markets. So if you're wanting to get on in trades, there's nothing wrong with buying higher and selling higher. You can buy Bitcoin at 100, you can buy Bitcoin at 96 and sell it at 104 and make money. As long as you have your stop losses in place, that if we lose this level, you set a stop loss at whatever the acceptable amount, number one, the acceptable amount of money that you're prepared to lose on the trade. If it's $100 and you put 1,000 in, then you're willing to take a 10% loss on there. So you put the stop loss 10% under. If you only want to lose $50 on that trade, then you set it at 5% because you're only prepared to lose $50. Okay, that's just an easy way. There are other ways, but that's just an easy way. And the way that I like to do it, of course, and you can only do it while you're awake and watching the charts, is the stop loss out at the same place that I entered, as when it breaks down and then retests from underneath and rejects. And I've got to switch to the 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame to see that little thing happen. If it breaks down here below and then retests and rejects, then I can get out of the trade or take some profit there on the trades. Now let's look at the liquidation heat map, because this is very, very interesting. I showed you yesterday this yellow dark line. This is where most of the liquidity is. Come on, spit it out, boy. I bet you're saying to me, no, you're being kind to me today. It's my 5,000 subscriber day. So the liquidity is there, but now, of course, shorts keep opening. And again, we have more liquidity above price. More liquidity above price to be liquidated here. Let's go down to the 12-hour and see if we can see there. Same thing. There it is. Big bunch of liquidity to be liquidated at $92,300. There's about 38 million that the market makers can come and take and liquidate the over-leveraged shorts. But there is some below here, about the same amount, 40 million down at 90,516. It wouldn't surprise me if the market makers came and got both of those levels at some point today or over the weekend. Could come down, have a quick drop up, spike up, or a spike up and then drop down. You can kind of go out to the bigger time frames like 48 hours. And again, if you look again at that 92,400 level, the shorts are not learning. They're just continuing to get wrecked. They're going back in. And until all the short leverage gets flushed out, again, the biggest yellow line is at 92,300. I think that's just an obvious level that we're going to go today. Could it be that easy? Could it be more obvious? Even on the weekly chart now, we have $179 million that the market makers can take just by quickly moving it up to 92,340. And really, I'm not seeing a big correction until the shorts, those that keep entering shorts. And what is it? If you're new to the channel, it's when somebody borrows money. But essentially, people who have borrowed money and gone leverage like 10x, 20x, 100x, they borrowed 100 times the original capital that they put in. And if the market moves against them, they will lose all the original capital. And that's all the original capital up there. And so this is what happens. So once we start to see this calm down a little bit and we start to see the brighter yellow below price, then I feel, but there is a fair bit down there. Look, there's 129 million down there at around 85,000. And that seems to be an area there where we do see, if there was to move to the downside, we do have that down there. There's definitely liquidity there, but the most liquidity is above price right now. Okay, well, there we are for today, and we are prepared if we see a drop. We know what the levels are that we've targeted to the downside that could be possible entry zones or could be possible local bottoms for Bitcoin. And of course, we don't want to go below this low all the way down here, which is down at 66,800, the November low. Historically, we've never seen that low ever again in Bitcoin history, just so you know. That the low of the election year, whatever the low has been the week of the election, Bitcoin has never gone there before. So there's a strong likelihood that we will never see 66,800 ever again. And it's possibly, if we do see Bitcoin pull back either in the near term or in the future in the bear market, that around that 69,000, 70,000 level is most likely going to be the bottom scenario there. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, until the next one, the stock show tomorrow on Sunday, happy trading.